So we're in Agabus hosting, right? First thing I'm going to do is just find a place to put multiple WordPress sites. And actually, before I start navigating around in Agabus hosting, let's go out to wordpress.org. What we're doing is we're going to go to Get WordPress. And what we're doing is we're basically downloading the files that the server, reaches out and grabs to install WordPress when we ask it to install WordPress. But because we have this database limitation, the automated process won't allow you to install multiple WordPresses on one database. So you have to do a manual install of WordPress. So let's just go ahead and download WordPress a while. And that should go to your downloads folder. So we'll just go back to Agabus hosting now. We'll go into File Manager. And what I'm going to do in here is, instead of wasting time creating a domain and things like that, and it's probably a good lesson for you to understand and learn as well, I'm just going to go in like one of the HTML sites that I have. Might prove to be a little more challenging. So I'll use this one. So I'm going to dip in here into that folder, and I'm just going to get rid of all this stuff in here, to be honest with you. You don't have to do this. Actually, I'll just leave it alone. I think I'll be fine. But what I'm going to do is, if I go here real quick and I see what I have in here, in this folder, in this site, it's just a subdomain. Right, I'm just empty. I got it locked. That's great. So, just for the exercise, and if you want to do this with me, you're fine to do this. What I'm going to do is upload that file, this file that I got. I'm going to go ahead and upload it. And I just did that by dragging it out of the downloader. It just links the file and then uploads the file. So what we're uploading, you'll see it's just all the content files and installer and stuff like that. It comes with WordPress, and you can see it right here. It came into play. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to decompress it, extract it. See how it made a WordPress folder? It decompressed it so the entire WordPress is right inside of that folder. So before I do anything else, I'm going to, because I want you to be able to see what we're doing more clearly, I'm going to rename this folder and call it WordPress-EX1, example 1. And I'll use 01. Now, if you're out of databases, honestly, it doesn't matter, because our next step is we got our files and our folders there, correct? So we're going to go to our databases, MySQL databases. If you have one to add, that's cool. If you don't, then you don't. I'm going to create one real quick just because I don't want to interfere with anything that I have, or because I'm just doing an example. But if you don't have one, you can pick one that you have, or maybe figure out one to delete and use as a catch-all. And so what I would do is I add my SQL database, and I'm going to name mine multi, and I'm going to put a cheesy password on there because I'll have to change it anyway because I'm recording the video. So I'll end up changing my password when the video's not. What I'll do is I'll generate one, and I'll add my SQL database. Okay, so it's telling me it's too long because my name, right? So I'm just going to name it MS for multi-site, and that should let me do it. So now I've created this database called multi-site. I'm going to go search for it. There it is. At this point, what I want to do, which I should have captured the details, and I didn't, shame on me, so I'm going to end up changing the password because I don't remember what the password was, right? But that's okay. So I would leave this like that right now, and I would hold down Control or however you do it, and I would go back to File Manager, opening it up in a new tab. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Find where you're putting it. So in my case, I'm putting it, just gotta find it. I'm putting it inside here, inside this folder. And if you look, right there is the WordPress that I extracted. So I'm just gonna go in there because what I want to do is copy this path like that. Because what I'm going to use that path for is to just go directly to my install, my WordPress install. That's all I'm doing, right? I'm just including that folder name in there. And I'm going to hit enter. And so now you're going to see something that you don't see when you do it on the server, which is the actual install process of WordPress. And so with that, we're going to, of course, go with English unless you're, fluent in something else and you feel funky, but you can see there's like almost every language in the world available. And I'm going to hit continue. It's telling me I need to know my database name, username, and password. Duh. And table prefix. So I'm going to say let's go. Database name. So I'm going to come over here to my database tab that I have here, right? I'm going to take my database name, which is also my database username, by the way. So database name, database username. I'm going to change my password so I can get it. I'm just going to generate one and say edit. I'm going to put that password in. Now, even though we're on the server, you'd be tempted to think, right, that we are not on local host. But as far as this is concerned, right, because the files are on that server, so it's on local, right? It's considering itself local. Even though we're accessing it remotely, it considers itself local. And if we take a second before we take the next step, and I hold down Control, I went back to my database, and I hold down Control, and I click on PHPMyAdmin, what this is, it's a tool that lets me see my database. And right now, my database has no tables, no nothing in it, right? I copied my password's in there. I'm going to take this, and what I'm going to do is make this prefix, I'm going to make it match. Sorry for jumping around. I'm going to make it match, right, my EX01. Jumping everywhere here. And I'm going to put that in there, EX01 with the underscore. Now I can put whatever I want in there. Right, I can put anything that I want in there, and by doing that, what I'm doing, you'll see when WordPress creates the tables in the database, it'll prefix every table name with that EX01 underscore. So we'll go ahead and we'll submit it. We'll run the install. Site title, just going to use that. Username, student. I'll change these passwords then, if anybody's watching this and thinks they're going to get away with. Email address, so I'll go ahead and put my rack email address in there. And I'm going to discourage search engines, right? Because basically what I'm telling you is, tell search engines this site is not ready yet. And I'm going to do my install. I'm going to go log in and check it out. And bam, there's my first WordPress website. So let's go see what it did in the database. If we look in our database and we refresh it, but you don't have to, you'll see here, right? EX01, EX01, EX01. All these are EX01. That makes sense what we just did? I'm going to go back to File Manager. I'm going to come up out of my EX01 WordPress, right? I'm just going to copy the name. Copy. I'm going to extract this again. Got a WordPress folder again, right? Everything's in there. I'm going to rename it, and this time I'm going to make it EX02. Now the cool thing is, I can come over to here, where my other install was, and just change that 01 to 02, and I'll go in that folder. Same process again. You want to install WordPress? Yes, continue. You have your information? Yes, let's go. Name of the database. Now, the cool part about this is if you forgot or whatever, I can go back out here to File Manager, and I can go right in here to WordPress EX01, and there's a file in here called wp-config. I can right-click on it and edit with Code Editor, and right here is all my information. Database name, take that, database name, username, that's our database username. I'll come back over here and there's my password tucked in that file. Localhost. And if you look in this file, it shows you table prefix, right? So what we want to do is we want this prefix to be 02. Make sense? I'm going to submit it. I'm going to run the installation. I'm going to name it 02 because that's what I'm going to do. Use student, rack pass in there. Confirm weak password and use my rack, and I'm going to discourage search engines from indexing my site. I'm going to say install WordPress. Done. Log in. Student. So if you haven't noticed, there's a couple things that you're learning here. First of all, you can put 50 WordPress websites inside one subdomain, inside nested folders, right, inside of that, which is, kind of cool. If you don't mind, a different name in your path other than your domain. If you're going to install it to make a website specifically, I would make sure that I just, install it in the root. But now if we go and look at the database, here's the really cool part. Right now we have 12 tables, by the way, and as soon as the speedy internet allows us, you'll see multitasking. You'll see now we have 001, 002. And what's cool is when 02 accesses the database, it doesn't even look at the 01 stuff. When 01, vice versa. And you could install, depends on processing and things like that, but honestly, you could install, if you had unlimited everything, like processing power and whatever, you could install 1,000 WordPresses in one site. Make sense? And then what's cool, as you install plugins too, you'll notice that it'll create tables as well. Plugins will create tables as well. And it'll always use that prefix line. Did that make sense?